Go ahead, Craig Gabriel.
Ashley, congratulations. You said on court, this is a dream. Can you just expand on that and talk about what your emotions are like and how good this feels to be in the semi-finals of Wimbledon for the first time, and the first Australian woman to do it since Yelena in 2000?
Yeah, like I said, this is my dream. I'm in an extremely fortunate position that I'm getting to do what I love and getting to do what I dreamt as a kid. So I think I've just got a whole lot of gratitude for the fact that I get to come out here and do what I love. And the world that we're living in at the moment, I think it's incredible that we're able to play, compete, to have people enjoy it with us. So I'm just certainly enjoying every single minute that I get out on those courts.
And if I can ask, how important was it for you to get off to a very solid start against Ajla and put the pressure on, because she's not played on centre court before, and she said she did feel a little bit intimidated out there?
I think it was important. Obviously, it was something that I wanted to do, was to start well, but also not making a massive emphasis on the start and allowing myself to not panic if things didn't start overly well. It was just working my way in like we always do, not putting any more emphasis on any other point or any other situation. It just kind of is what it is, and each and every one, I just wanted to try and play as well as I could with as much clarity and freedom as I could.
Simon Cambers.
Hi Ash, Simon Cambers from The Guardian. When you're very used to playing in front of home fans and expectation in Australia, especially the Australian Open, of course, and having all that expectation on you, is it very different when you play at Wimbledon, trying to win the Wimbledon title, despite the history of Australian tennis? Is it a little bit easier for you to cope with maybe not having all the attention on you every day?
I mean, I don't find it challenging anywhere in the world. I think I'm extremely lucky to get a lot of support all around the world, and as Australian tennis players, we're in one of the few countries that are a Grand Slam nation, and without a doubt that adds to the excitement. It adds to the calendar that we do have a tournament in our own backyard. So I think for me it's not a fact of liking it or disliking it or being overwhelmed, or it kind of makes it fun. It's enjoyable, and to have people enjoying the tennis with me and with us on the court makes it all the more fun, because I think that there are memories on tennis courts. Some are heartbreaking and some you never forget. But having an atmosphere really makes it extra special. And I think sometimes winning or losing matches doesn't matter. You remember the atmosphere. You remember kind of those feelings on court as opposed to the results.
I guess what I mean, just to follow up, is are you aware of how much your progress is being followed back home? Because I know you're front page, you're on the TV, etc. Are you in touch with that?
I'm in touch with my family. I know that they're watching, and that to me is all that matters. I know that the people that I love and the people that love me back are watching, and they're living through this journey with me. So I love the fact that Australians at home, the fans, are able to get behind all of us that are here. But I mean, I don't read the papers. I don't see that white noise as such. I don't read it. It doesn't faze me. It's not something that I focus on. So to kind of answer your question, it's almost irrelevant to me.
Tony Banks.
Hi, Ashley. Well played today. You're up against Angelique now in the semi-final. She's a player who's won here at Wimbledon. She knows how to win this tournament. Does that enter into your thinking? I mean, a very experienced player who knows how to win. Is that going to be a factor, do you think?
Of course it is. It adds to the challenge. Angie obviously has an incredible record here. She's made multiple finals, and she's one of the best grass courters going around. And I think the challenge of playing her in a semi-final of Wimbledon is an incredible opportunity, and one that I'm really excited for. I don't think it's not scary or overwhelming. It's just exciting. It's exciting to have the challenge of playing someone who's comfortable on these courts and who knows how to win this tournament.
Courtney.
Yeah, Courtney Nguyen, WTA Insider. Hey, Ash. I just want to take you back to, I think it was 2017 Brisbane. You played Angie. You were kind of in the process of coming back. It was a tough three-setter. But if I recall, after the match, it was Sydney, but after the match, it seemed to be a match that mattered to you in terms of your performance, in terms of resetting and recalibrating your expectations at that stage of your comeback. Can you kind of talk about what you remember from that match and what it meant to you at that stage in your career?
Yeah, I remember that match well. It was my first final in Australia, in Sydney, and I think that match, I think it was just one break each set, I think, in the final. And I remember coming off the court and feeling like my level was close, but it wasn't good enough. I was close, but there was that extra step that I needed to take to compete with someone of Angie's caliber, in a sense of she doesn't give you cheapy. She competes for every single point. She's won Grand Slam. She knows how to hang tough in brutal moments, and I think that was almost a bit of a reset, knowing I'm not far off, but I'm not there yet. So I think that's the challenges each and every week, and I think each time I've played Angie has been kind of through different phases of my career, and it's been an exceptional challenge each and every time, and now to be facing each other in a Grand Slam semi-final at a tournament that she's won before is an incredible opportunity, and I'm really, really excited.
Willie Weinbaum.
Hi, Ash. Willie from ESPN. Congratulations. What tactically is the key to Angie's success, and what is the key to your success against her, do you think?
I mean, I think we're very different players. Everyone is obviously their own unique player, and tactically they maneuver their way around the court differently. But I mean, I think I like to try and use my variety as best I can. I like to try and use my weapons when I can, and I know that one of Angie's greatest assets is the fact that she can run and hunt and put the ball in an awkward situation to nullify my aggression and kind of my weapons at times. So it's a really fine balance. It's a match that I know that I need to play my very best tennis to compete with her, particularly on this surface, and one that I look forward to is really challenging myself against someone who's comfortable on these courts. Like I said, has won this tournament, knows how to win tough matches, and has been playing really well recently on this surface, not just this fortnight. So it's a great challenge. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to being in my first semi-final here at Wimbledon.
Thank you.
Ben Rothenberg.
Ash, Ben Rothenberg, New York Times. Good to see you. You mentioned your first semifinal at Wimbledon. I'm curious how much of this still feels new to you in terms of making these, firsts for you at different tournaments, and how much feels like, okay, I've done this, I've won the major, I've been in semifinals before, I know how this goes. Like, what is the sort of mix of familiar feeling versus still unfamiliar?
I think it's a bit of a balance, because each match is different. Each match is a new situation and a match that I can learn from. But I certainly don't become complacent in any facet of my game, thinking that I know what's going on, because sport is a wonderful thing in a sense where there are no guarantees, there are no certainties, and that's what makes it so incredible to play and to be a part of. And I think each and every opportunity I get to play, I learn. I take it for what it is. I can't do any more than that. I can't think too far ahead or worry about what has happened in the past. It's just about focusing on the present moment and the opportunity that I've got, and that's all I do. So I don't think there's a sense of me thinking that I'm experienced or inexperienced or whatever it is. It's just taking that moment for what it's worth.
Ian Chadban.
Oh, Ash, how do you think your performance today looked to be a step up again from what we've seen earlier in the tournament? But I wonder how you compare it now to that purple patch you were having in Europe earlier, maybe this time last month, maybe it was a little bit earlier. But it looked as though you really are getting back into your very best form.
No, I feel good. I think obviously clay to grass is very different. It's a different surface, and the clay season was quite long. And as for the grass season for me, it's one tournament. It's pretty cutthroat. So I think it's allowing myself time to feel relaxed on the court and to learn about the surface, and to continue to kind of find my rhythm and find my groove on the grass. But I think today I was able to use my weapons a little bit better, and just bring the ball back into my patterns a bit more regularly. I certainly wasn't as loose as I have been, with errors and kind of ill-timed lapses, I suppose, but I felt really sharp today, and I felt like I knew that I had to bring that level to be able to match it with Ajla.
Craig Gabriel.
Ash, head to head with you and Angie is 2-2 You haven't played since Wuhan in 2018. This is, as you've also said, a first time on grass meeting. So whatever's happened before, is it insignificant? Does it matter? Does it mean anything? Or this is a completely different ball game because it's been 2-3 years, it's a different surface and all that?
It's irrelevant. I think we're both at different phases of our career to where we were each and every time that we've played. So, of course, we've both learnt from those matches without a doubt. We've probably both grown and adapted as tennis players and become better tennis players. So I think there's that extra challenge of trying to test each other. But you go back on those matches and think what worked well, what didn't work well, but also understanding that it's a completely fresh slate. It's a new match, it's a new surface, it's a new situation. So you can't focus on what happened too much. It's about going out there and trying to do as best you can on that given day. And if it's enough, it is, and if it's not, it's not. And that's kind of all there is to it.
Willie?
Ash, in what circumstances, if at all, have you seen the championship trophy for Wimbledon? And what names and impressions did you have and thoughts about yourself when you looked at it?
I think it's downstairs in like a case before the court entrance. I can't say that I've gone up and kind of peered in. Maybe one day I'll get an opportunity to look at it, but yeah, I mean I haven't seen it, no.
How about on TV when the player hoists it at the end of the championship? What goes through your mind as you look at it here at Wimbledon?
I mean, I can't say I've watched too many Wimbledon finals and watched other players lift the trophy. I remember enjoying watching Simo lift up the beautiful trophy that it is a couple of years ago. But I mean, aside from like I'm everyone else, you watch it on telly and you kind of take it in for what it's worth. But hopefully I get close enough to have a good look.
Jacqueline.
Ashleigh, it's Jacqueline Magnay from The Australian. I'm just wondering about the bubble that you're in and whether you've become more familiar and comfortable with that environment and the coronavirus measures that are being taken, that's kind of reflected in how you've progressed through the tournament as well, that every match you're just getting stronger and more lethal. Is that because in any way that off the court you're also feeling more comfortable?
No, the bubble has nothing to do with my tennis performance. I think where we know what the restrictions are and the guidelines are for each and every event. Each event is a little bit different, but we put the trust in the health professionals creating those guidelines for us to ensure that we can play a safe event. But I think once I step on the court, what's happening off the court and kind of around is irrelevant.
Last question from Ben Rothenberg.
Ash, when you made your semi-final first time at the French Open, it was a bunch of other sort of new faces in that draw, and this time it's a pretty established grouping of three former number ones and current number one in you, and then also Sabalenka who's the number 2 seed. So not a lot of real sort of surprise faces in here. Just I'm curious how different that might feel as you look around the locker room and see these sort of like big sort of A-list players. I guess I know everyone's good, but this is still like a pretty established group at this point. I
mean, this tournament is the players left in the draw or the players left in the draw. Like any other tournament, everyone has equal opportunity to do what they do and to go out there and enjoy themselves. So I think it's not something that I ever look at or compare or contrast. It's different surface, different year, different everything. So incomparable, really.
Okay, thank you very much. We will conclude the press conference there.
Thank you. Have a good night.